Actually, I should stop here my presentation because one picture or many pictures say more than 1,000 words, and this video I think is enlightening all of you about your country, our country, Switzerland. I guess the mission of today is to inform you as well a little bit more about who we are and what we do. First of all, my ladies and gentlemen, the young Swiss living abroad, this tourism in Switzerland is a structure in the strategy of the government. The government defined a strategy, SECO implemented it, and there are several goals that are defined. And to fulfill the goals, there are several instruments. And these instruments are the InnoTour, the Swiss credit for hotels, Switzerland tourism, and then a program for the regional policy. You see, we Switzerland tourism, we are at the end only an instrument of the global strategy of tourism for Switzerland. But we have some responsibility. We have the responsibility to promote Switzerland as a destination. We are active already over 100 years. We provide many platforms for communication to our partners and to the hotel industry. We have 270 employees in our organization, and we are structured as a public law corporation with the supervision, like I mentioned, by the SECO, and we have a board of directors guiding us. The management is very easy, 7 departments, some related to the corporate services, to the market, and then to the marketing, of course, very important part. One of our assets at Switzerland Tourism is the presence in the market. We have 35 offices in 23 markets. Some of you probably live in some of the country where Switzerland Tourism has as well an office. Some maybe not, but these markets are important. We have grouped them with the Americas, with Europe East and Europe Est, including the Middle East, and then the Asia Pacific group. Then there is an additional group for emerging market, which is the one that I'm responsible for. Since over 20 years, I am developing new markets that have become over the time solid and active market for Switzerland tourism, and other we are still working on and trying to make it fruitful. Some of the emerging markets are now emergency market because if we look at Ukraine, Israel, and Iran, maybe they are more in an emergency situation as in an emerging market. Some of you have been watching Switzerland tourism or listening to Switzerland tourism since a long time. And maybe you have seen that we have changed over the years our logos. And this year we really rebranded our organization and our promotion. We have cut off the gold flower, this that you have maybe noticed over the last 25, 26 years. It's no longer there. We got inspired by the Swiss cross. We got inspired by the beautiful sunsets of our that we have in our Alps and in Switzerland, and we combine both things, and we have been able to bring a new identity, a new brand of Switzerland by putting these colors and the name, and especially the cross in the middle of the word Switzerland. This is a new logo that we use as well on our jacket and so on, as a pin and so on. And this is where we are going to be seen in the future since the end of April of this year. As you may know, ladies and gentlemen, tourism in Switzerland is very important. We count every year about 38 millions of overnights in the hotel. 70 millions are generated in the para-hotellerie. It means in apartment, in camping, in group accommodation. Then the tourism brings about 43 billions to the total GP, the Bruttoinlandprodukt of the Switzerland, and then 20 billions are the ones that we can calculate it as an export value. We are in the 5th position of this export activity. And 250 employees are working directly or indirectly in the tourism industry. When it comes to travel, we realize that 57% of the people travel mostly in the summertime. And that 16% of the visitors are visiting Switzerland for the first time, which is interesting because it helps to understand that we have a large number of Stammkunden, repeaters, coming to visit Switzerland on a regular basis. And another positive aspect that we have here on this chart in the middle is the fact that 36% of our visitors use the public transportation system, which is a very important highlight of our tourism activity. The focus of Switzerland Tourism is to work on the national, on the domestic market, to make sure that we keep on going with almost 50% of the activity for Switzerland. Then the European markets, because they are close by, and then finally the overseas. You may have seen that during the pandemic, it was a big crash of the tourism industry, not only for Switzerland, but worldwide. And here this graphic shows you exactly that the effect of the pandemic a few years ago. And anyway, what is very positive is that the tourism industry has regained of importance after the pandemic and take again the same shape as we used to have. Even for Switzerland, there was a little bit more of Swiss traveling in Switzerland during the pandemic years, and then now we are getting close to the structure we had before the pandemic. We see the increase will continue to come, and we are even today at the end, in the middle of September, higher than what we used to be at the end of 2019. One of the strategies we developed in the recent past is the Travel Better strategy. We want to encourage our guests to travel to Switzerland on a responsible way. We invite them to extend the season, to stay longer, to explore hidden gems, and to travel by train. These 5 pillars are important. And if we translate these 5 pillars into our action, in our marketing, you realize that we have for each one an answer. The first one is the sustainable, that we have under the label of Swisstainability. We want to extend the season. We want to have an autumn. Then we have the duration of the stay. This is the winters that will give the opportunity to extend the stay. The geographical distribution is done by the Grand Tour, where by traveling by car, you can probably discover more hidden gems of Switzerland. And then the public transportation, definitely the Grand Train Tour that later Stefan will refer to. For the first one, the Swisstainable, this is the label that is used. We really have a strategy that has been developed, and we encourage our company and organization related to the tourism to be part of this program. For the longer stay, the longer season, we have developed the autumn, Grape Escape, that meaning bring the people to discover more everything that is related to the vineyard and the season of the autumn. For the winter, of course, the extension of the stay, and maybe even the extension to going out of the classic ski moment, but including as well some of the routes on the snow. For the Grand Tour of Switzerland, which allows people to travel around Switzerland on a marked and assigned tour with a little arrow, brown arrows that you see here. It helps a lot to discover these hidden gems on special routes and special itinerary. And it is a product that Switzerland tourism is very proud of it, because we are almost in the 10 years of operation, but it has taken 4 years of preparation. This is something that sometimes we forget, that to prepare a valuable product, tourist products, there is a lead time of preparation, which is absolutely necessary. For the Grand Train Tour, this is for us one of the key products as well, with all the panoramic trains crisscrossing Switzerland. And then Stefan will tell us a little bit more about this in a few minutes. We have some cooperation worldwide, which was important, and even for you being located in different parts of the world, I think it's important to know our cooperation with the Swiss living abroad, of course, it is one of our assets that we had for the last 10 years almost. And then we cooperate with all the Swiss embassies, the Consulate General of Switzerland around the world, and we meet them as well once a year when they have the conference in Switzerland. In several countries, we cooperate with the Ministry of Tourism of the local community, because we know that if we have some activity together, we can always change for the future. And then we have a special cooperation that came up. You probably have heard. It was the one with Roger Federer. We had several video clips that has been done in the past, and I would like to show you the ones that we just recently presented, which is the one falling for outing.
Roger, where is Mads? We need to start shooting.
He needs more time. He said if this commercial is about Swiss autumn, he needs to feel Swiss autumn, connect with nature. I don't know. That's what he said.
I think I know where I can find him.
He'll be here in a minute, I'm sure.
Ooh la 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 oh, oh, ooh la 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 hey. You're late, oh, autumn all around.
Knock knock. Is anyone home?
In the valley deep, autumn whispers sweet.
It's been 5 hours. We're on the side of a mountain, and where is my actor?
What's wrong with this guy? Is he out of his mind?
I don't know. Is he?
Ooh la 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 oh, oh, ooh la 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 hey. You're late, oh, autumn all around.
All right, let's go, let's go. Time is money. We have a job to finish. Wait. Where's Roger? Roger? What are you doing?
You know.
Ooh la 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 oh, oh, ooh la 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 hey. You're late, oh, autumn all around.
I'm sure that if we will be all together in one room, I will have heard a big applause. And I've seen some of you have put the applause on the screen. Thank you very much. Yes, it is very important. Now, just in conclusion, to tell you that Switzerland Tourists could not be so good and being able to do so many activity if we will not be in a position to partnering with our region, our tourismus region, which are 13 regions that we have in Switzerland. We always cooperate together with them. We cooperate as well with strategic partner, which are important financial partner for us as well, which brings a lot of funds and support in our activity. We have other strategic partner which are very key for us at the moment when we try to develop a new product and new strategy. And finally, we have a lot of little partners that help us in the running and in the marketing that we do on a regular basis. Then you see this partnership with partners is important to bring up the funds that we need for our operation. I would like here to invite you maybe to look at this website. These websites are important for you to stay connected to the tourism industry, to our concept of Swiss sustainability, or even to be able to get more in-depth information about what we do in foreign market and here at home. I thank you very much for your attention. I hope you got a little insight of what Switzerland tourism is, of the importance of the tourism for Switzerland. And I will be happy to answer any question if you have, or if there are any in the chat, please let me know. I will be happy to provide you further information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Federico. Checking the chat, and I have no question here. Is anyone have a question? Oh, yes. No. I can see. Oh, Sophia is saying, thank you, Federico. I'm not sure you can see that. Yeah, perfect. So, so no question for the moment. You can still put some questions in the chat at the end of the webinar. Federico is still here and he can answer. So now I'll hand over to Stefan, who will introduce you to the possibilities of traveling by public transport in Switzerland. Thank you very much, Stefan. Stefan, we can't hear you for the moment. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm back. You still see my screen, though?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, let's travel Switzerland all together. Today, travel Switzerland by train, bus, and boat. I did bring a bunch of a few topics with you for today, for my presentation for the next couple of minutes. I like to highlight why it's a good reason to travel in Switzerland by public transports, because it's more than just a means of transport which brings you from A to B. It's much more to explore, much more to see. I did put my focus of the presentation of some tips and tricks, maybe some hidden gems, something you didn't know, what you can do when you use the public transports in Switzerland. So it is the perfect network. You might heard that Switzerland's quite famous for its trains, for its public transport system. Maybe it's famous because it's directly connected to the international airports like in Geneva, Basel, or in Zurich as well. So once you step out of the plane and grab your baggage, you just move your way down to the platform and tracks, and you can take the train for wherever you like to go in Switzerland. This with no seat reservation, so just hop on any train you like to go. There's basically from any city to any other city or even village every 30 minutes a train. This is called the so-called interval timetables. That means that every same minute after the hour, the train is running to the same direction and to the same cities. It's a system of superlatives. I have a few numbers here. We always call it the densest public transport network in the world. It connects more than 250 different companies together to one system. On average, every Swiss citizen takes 53 train journeys a year. That's nearly 2,400 kilometers, like a world record. And at the same time, nearly the whole population of Iceland, which is approximately 290,000 persons, could travel in a train in Switzerland. And there's a Swiss train company called the Rhaetian Railway in Graubünden, so the eastern part of Switzerland. They attempted the world record and they managed to do it. So there's even in the Guinness Book of World Records this record noted. It is for the longest passenger train in the world. We do know long freight trains in the USA, maybe in Australia, maybe on other countries, but this is definitely the longest passenger train. They connected 25 engines and 100 carriages to hold passengers in, and traveled from Breda down to Bergün at the speed of between 30 to 35 km. You see here on the picture, yes, it's all the same train. It's not an artificial intelligence picture. It was on the same train running, and you would see moving at the same time all around. So that's quite a bit of a cool thing, I think, not even for train nerds like me. So why traveling by train, bus, and boat? For that, I do have another small video with 5 nice reasons why to travel and why to use public transport in Switzerland. Enjoy. So it's not only easy, there are a lot of other 5 reasons why to do it. So just come over to Switzerland and try and explore it by yourself. Easy is as well the connection into Switzerland. So when you're coming over to Europe, visiting other countries, neighboring countries, some other touristic highlights within Europe, why not taking the train into Switzerland and then traveling around in Switzerland by public transport? You're very well connected in Switzerland, coming or going into Switzerland by public transport. It doesn't matter if it's from the north, with the German railway, one of these still fancy looking white ICE high-speed trains, which brings you nearly every hour from cities in Germany like Frankfurt or Cologne or even Berlin, and further up north from Hamburg, straight to the border to Basel. And some of the trains do run further into Switzerland, like straight to Zurich or to Bern or even to Chur in wintertime, where you could go skiing in the eastern Alps of Switzerland. What's right for the north is right for the south as well. The Swiss Federal Railway, SBB, do operate together with the Italian Federal Railway direct connection from Venice, Bologna, Genoa and Milan into Switzerland, into the western part of Switzerland, like to the Lake Geneva area, but as well as to Bern and into Zurich, and even further up to Basel. Yeah, and let's go around. So we have the eastern part missing so far. Of course, with the Austrian Railway, so-called rail jets are running into Switzerland every 2 hours, connecting Vienna, Salzburg with Zurich, and you could go vice versa, traveling to or from Switzerland as well through train. And finally, the west, the TGV Lyrias, the TGV high-speed train, as far as I know, were the very first high-speed trains within Europe. Back then, early 80s, I believe. They started their service, and ever since, Paris is connected with Geneva, Basel, and Zurich by direct trains on an interval regular timetable. So once in Switzerland, then I want to jump further and will give you some ideas or some information about the Grand Train Tour Federico has quickly announced before. So it's actually the biggest tour you can do by public transport once you're in Switzerland. We heard the Grand Tour on the street with these signs on the street you can follow and do the tour and crisscross the whole country and see everything you like to do or to see. And you basically could do that on the public transport as well. It combines not only the 4 language regions, you will cross on the tour 3 alpine passes and will pass by 11 of the major lakes here in Switzerland. It's possible to do it all year around. It combines the 8 most attractive panoramic lines in Switzerland. And it even connects 5 of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And of course, you could do side trips to many other destinations once you are there, visit lots of museums or do an excursion up to one of the beautiful mountains or have, like me, a swim in the River Aare once you pass through Bern or Zurich and have a dip in the Lake of Zurich. Basically, it's this, let's say if you run into Zurich Airport, then you could really start already your way through to Lucerne and Interlaken, which is part of the Golden Pass line. Stay in Interlaken for a couple of days, doing some mountain excursions there, and then use the Golden Pass Express through to Montreux, to the border of Lake Geneva. From there, you can move on to Zermatt to see the Matterhorn, to do some climbing, some hiking up in the Alps. Then it combines the Glacier Express, maybe the most famous panoramic train in Switzerland, or maybe even in the world. It's a so-called slowest fast train because it's running all the way through the mountains up to the famous ski resort of St. Moritz. From there, you continue on the UNESCO World Heritage line of the Rhaetian Railway through the Bernina Alps to Tirano. It's well connected by bus then further down to Lugano in the southern part of Switzerland, and the Gotthard Panorama Express brings you back through the Alps in direction Lucerne. From there, you could go further on the route through to Rapperswil and St. Gallen, so it gets the eastern part of Switzerland as well. See the Abbey Library there, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, and make your way along the Lake of Constance and the Rhinefall back to Zurich. You see, all in all, you could do it within 1 day. Within 8 days, of course, not 1 day, in 8 days on these 8 legs. Then it's a lot of train rides, but you could extend everywhere you like to, or you can do only part of the Grand Train Tour. You get the offers and bookable products of these 7 tours, like the original or the classic tours, but there are themed tours as well along the Grand Train Tour, which shows you the top attraction, or there's one tour especially in the eastern part for stunning waters. There are some hidden treasures as well you can explore, or the glacier and palm trees, which for me is one of the nicest one because it combines the Alps, the snow, the cold with the warmth of the palm trees in the southern part of Switzerland. What else there are? If you don't keen or don't fancy like on a train trip for a couple of days in advance, you could do one of the scenic routes, which are smaller day trips or just connecting basically from one to the other destination you might go. There's this Golden Pass panoramic line which runs between Montreux and Zweisimmen. The speciality there is that here in front of the engine there are some VIP seats, so the driver seats are basically above you and you can have the beautiful view out on the front of the engine. It's good fun to do it. Best view, I guess, it's the engine driver seat anyway. We have train, but there are buses as well. This is one of the most famous bus route through the Central Alps, I would say. It's a circle loop from Meiringen to Meiringen for one day and basically connects all the big high mountain passes there. It's open during summertime only because the passes are closed when there is too much snow. You could even bring your bicycle with you, so why not taking the bus up the pass and take the bicycle down? You could as well do a boat cruise, of course, like here on one of the pedal steamers in Lake Lucerne or Lake Thun and Brienz as well. And then we have ended the journey with train, bus and boat on some scenic routes. If you get sick maybe of the scenic, maybe you can't ever get sick. I never get sick of the scenery in Switzerland, but sometimes the public transport do have some themes, which is not basically the scenic only or the scenery only or the landscape. It obviously combines both, but yeah, Switzerland is famous for cheese. I got asked the question, cheese or chocolate? Maybe both, I said. So why not hopping on a cheese train, where you will go to a show dairy farm where you can produce your own cheese. You could even help them and see them how they're doing it. And of course, you can taste a nice fondue at the end of the day. No Switzerland without any chocolate. There is even a so-called chocolate train where you go to a chocolate museum, to a chocolate factory. Again, same story as if the cheese train. You can see how the chocolate gets produced, and of course you can try chocolate there as well. But for me, the most loved one is the cookie train. Cambly is one of a big cookie factory here in Switzerland. There's a branded train which brings you to the village where this Cambly factory is, and once you are there, you really can dig into and eat as much cookies as you like there at their shop, and of course they're happy if you buy something too. If you're traveling with smaller kids or maybe with smaller siblings, brothers and sisters, why not hopping on the Globi Express? For those who don't know Globi, Globi is one of the famous cartoons. Guys, here in Switzerland, all the Swiss kids were grown up with the famous comic books of Globi. So there's a train there as well, running basically from Lucerne up to Engelberg on this Globi Express with various fun competition for the kids. There's books and audiobooks on board to keep the kids busy and explore the Globi. Let me tell you quickly something about the Swiss Travel Pass. The Swiss Travel Pass is basically the ticket. Yes, public transport is good fun, but you need still have a ticket even in Switzerland to travel by public transport. Why not the Swiss Travel Pass? Because the Swiss Travel Pass is the only all-in-one ticket for all train, bus and boat services within Switzerland. It's a super value for your money. It includes all this excursion I showed you before, all the Grand Train Tour legs, all the 8 legs. It's flexible. You can take whenever you like your train or your public transport. You could even hop on streetcars and buses in the cities. And the biggest benefit, if the weather is not nice to be outside or you're culturally interested, you can even get access to more than 500 museums in Switzerland. So this is the museum pass, which is included there. in this Swiss Travel Pass again. Once you have a Swiss Travel Pass, hey, you can combine it again, train, bus, and boat with this ticket. I have one suggestion here, which is a very famous one, which even myself, I'm doing it at least once a year, is this Lucerne-Rigi round trip, because it combines all the best what Federico got asked in his question, lake or mountains. It really combines both, because you start in Lucerne, taking one of these modern vessels or boats from Lucerne back up to Fitznau, and change there to the Coqueville train up to Mount Rigi, enjoy the beautiful mountain, enjoy the view down there, heading back the other side through to Goldau, and then by train back to Lucerne. And once you're back in Lucerne, you could even visit the Glacier Garden, which is the most visited museum in Lucerne for Swiss Travel Pass holders. So that's like kind of a nice day trip with the Travel Pass once you're in Lucerne. I grew up in the eastern part of Switzerland, so therefore I like to show you this little secret route still, I would say. The town of Schaffhausen, you'll see on the left-hand side picture, it's a beautiful old town with all these nice houses. You could jump on a train or even take a bike as well, so travel or ride along the River Rhine or along the Lake of Constance, go to St. Gallen, visit the library there, and coming back either to Zurich or stay overnight in St. Gallen. And the cookie train I spoke before, you could do as well on a kind of a day trip package to the cookie train and combine it with a cruise ship on the Lake Brienz, and nice different means of transport on the same day. And if you did not eat too much cookies, you might can have a dip as well on the Lake of Brienz. Mountain day trips, yes. Mountains, super famous, always worth a visit, but the cities are very well worth to visit too. So why not do a day trip from the city to a mountain? A day could look like this, that you have a hip breakfast in an old town cafe in Bern maybe, where the picture is from here. Then you go up into a mountain hut at noon, and then you go back to the city again and have party in the city. That's all possible in Switzerland. It is possible because Switzerland is not that huge of a country, but basically it is possible thanks to the densest public transport network we have in Switzerland. One last question, and then I conclude my presentation, is I want to speak quickly about sustainability in public transport. 90% of the power SBB uses, which is the biggest railway company in Switzerland, and 100% the Russian railway will use, is hydropower. So therefore 50% less CO2 decommission for SBB until 2025. And electric car produces 30 times more CO2 than a train does. So even if you do travel on a more sustainable electric car, public transport is even better when you travel this in the question of a CO2 emission. There are a couple of innovative public transports these days. On the Lake of Biel, there's the world's largest solar catamaran going on. So all powered by solar only. Or there's a hybrid cruise ship on Lake Lucerne, which is quite a fancy one and very well loved to have a nice evening trip on the lake. And finally, we spoke about the Russian railway and their use of hydroelectric power already. So let's come to not Disneyland, but to Switzerland, and travel around with all these attractions you see on the map by public transport using the Swiss Travel Pass. Saying that, I wish you a fun time traveling Switzerland by train, bus, and boats. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Does anyone have a question or would like to say something, or looking forward to Yes, please.
Hello, Stefan. Very nice presentation. Thank you. From South Africa.
Hello.
Hello. I've been to the 4th Auslandschweizer Congress this year that I attended, the 100th one, but my 4th one. And I picked up this time that a lot of people are very negative about carbon footprint of planes. And I think that's a big thing to go to Switzerland. So it's very positive to see the carbon neutral. But between you and Federico, what's the magic answer to tell people if they don't want to take a flight from another continent to Switzerland? What's the magic answer to convince them?
Thank you very much, Francois, for your question and for your comments. It depends from which country you are coming from Switzerland. I mean, of course, if some country have better connections than other, it's a question of price, it's a question of flight availability. But I can recommend all the Swiss young people living abroad to make a choice once in their life to come to Switzerland, to discover their country. I know it has to do with the price for you young people because the flight ticket might be expensive. And at the moment when you decide to come to Switzerland, you look more at the portemonnaie than to the CO2 information. And then I think once you are here and you forget the flight, but you use the public transportation of Switzerland, you can say you compensate for the CO2 you spend on the flight by using the public transportation. And I can recommend all of you, my dear friends from young Swiss abroad, to really prepare your journey to Switzerland. You may say, I'm not coming this year, but I will go in 2 years. Instead of staying 1 week, I will stay 2 weeks. And then you do it a longer stay. And then you will definitely discover your own country with a certain time, with giving you the space to really explore the different culture, the Italian, the French culture, the German culture, the Rätoromance. And like I mentioned, do it maybe not regularly, but do it once with your time. Use the public transportation because this is what gives you the most precious way of discovering your own country.
Thank you. I've got a question here. Oh, I'm putting the sound for Leonor from the UK. Leonor? Yes. Hi.
I'm Leonor. I find that answer really interesting. It makes me think, do you find that many young Swiss people who've never been to Switzerland if they live abroad? Do you have some statistics on that? And are they one of your key audience targets?
I should ask Maya to give the information about the statistic, but I think it always depends where you put the level for the young generation. It is between 10 and 20, because you have young people, even in the bracket 35 to 55 or 60, and then you have the senior, but they feel always young forever. Then, you know, it is very difficult to say, but of course, I think there is a large number of Swiss young people around the world that still have to discover their own country. But Maya, maybe you know more.
Yeah, I was thinking, but I'm not sure I know if there is statistic about how many young people never went to Switzerland. But I think there are many things to take into consideration. Also, what age and which generation, if it's second, third, and that makes also, if they still have family in Switzerland, that's also would change the key facts.
I think also just living in the UK and being surrounded by many Swiss families, they always go because it's so close. But if you live on another continent, then probably you're less likely to go back.
And maybe it's also going to what Federico said, staying longer as well, like not going just for a few days, maybe staying longer, find back family, or staying longer like in cheaper places to be able to stay longer rather than making a weekend as we sometimes did going back in the US, for example, or when you come in Switzerland.
Thanks.
Any other questions or feedback or willing to share something? I can see there's, yeah, South Africa, people from
Israel,
Israel. Yeah,
UK.
that's nice. Nice to see everyone. I have just one question for actually Stefan, because I didn't get it. How many transportation companies are in Switzerland approximately?
Actually, there are more than 250, 250 together. Obviously, the most of you might know SBB as the biggest train company. It's the Federal Railway, owned by the government. But there's very small ones, even back to the small mountain cable car railways. So altogether with all bus companies, streetcar companies in the cities, there's more than 250. Of them. And the fun fact, and that's maybe one reason Switzerland is so famous for its public transport, they all work together when it comes to the ticket. So once you're there with the Swiss Travel Pass, you buy one ticket and you can use all of them. You don't have to buy always a new ticket when you change mean of transport, like if you hop from a train up to a bus, you don't have to get a ticket there anymore. They work super well together, and that's one of the biggest benefits, I guess, we have when promoting public transport in Switzerland.
Thanks.
Which is called the Swiss Travel Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you still have, for you young people, special rates because there is a youth Swiss Travel Pass up to the age of 26, n'est-ce pas, Stefan? You have
25 these days. Yeah, we have had to harmonize that with the age limit here in Switzerland. But yes, there's obviously kids traveling for free when they are with their parents, then up to the age of 16 or before the 16th birthday, and then it's the youth pass between 16 and 25 before you have to buy a normal little price pass. True. Thanks, Federico, for that.
You're welcome.
I think François wanted to say something.
Yes. Thank you, Maya. Now I've got a question for Stefan. Sorry about the previous one. I was a bit late to think about the content.
All good.
Thank you, Phil. The Congress, if you apply, then you get a 75% discount. But now I hear the Congress is only happening every 4 years. Is there another way to get discount if you're above 26? That's the one question. Just a fun fact, I hear Netherlands is the most expensive public transport and Switzerland second, according to income. Second question, open for the floor. My son turned 7. What's the youngest that the lager will take him in, if there's a lager for young children? So it's 2 questions, the special price pass and the youngest lager. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a special discounted passes like this, discounted 75%. We do offer together with organizations and partners like the SwissCommunity. If they do have a congress going on, and then we can set up a partnership and offer therefore a discounted price for this specific occasion or congress. Beside that, no, the youth fares are available till the age of 25, but afterwards there's the normal adult fare. Yeah.
So to answer about the Congress, we're working on a new, not a Congress, but maybe the days of the Swiss community or the Fifth Switzerland. So we're working on that. It is going to be upcoming, and we will have still a partnership with Swiss Travel Systems. So we might be able to still offer this 75% discount, which is really great. But it's still in conversation, so let's wait for a few months. And for the age, I think we don't like again, I'm not from the youth department, but I think that's older children. The CS, so it's another organization which we work together, have children, younger children. So CS, I can put the link into the chat, and maybe you can go and check at this for them. And maybe somebody went to CS camp summer, or yes, do you remember what age? Sorry. Hello.
The question for me?
No, I'm sorry. Maybe for Costanza Benti, because I saw you saying yes for CS. Oh, I cannot hear you.
We cannot hear you.
Yeah. My colleague just told me that CS is from 8 to 14. Oh yeah, it's in the chat. Okay, perfect. So any other questions or feedback or something else to share? No, we're good. So I just give maybe the words to Federico Sommaruga, who might want to say something for the young people over here, because also the chat and this webinar will be on our website. So for information, maybe you want to share something.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Maya. Thank you very much to all of you that have attended this webinar or for the 4th Congress of the Young Abroad. And for those that are maybe listening to the registration, it's very good, because you probably have learned through the presentation of Stefan, Maya, myself, some new inputs related to the tourism and the travel in Switzerland. And I wish you, all of you, success in your career, in your life abroad. And I wish to welcome you to Switzerland in your home country anytime. And you may remember that the travel system of Switzerland and the tourism in Switzerland are important assets, and that you can benefit from them anytime you are here. Anyway, full of good success for you and your families, and stay in touch with your home country.
Thank you, Federico. Thank you very much, Stefan. And thanks for everyone to be here online, or maybe further to check this online congress. If you have any other questions about SwissCommunity organization, the US department, you can always stay in touch and write an email at info@swisscommunity.org, or check our website, which is swisscommunity.org. And you have, many answers to questions about how to come in Switzerland, have social insurance, military for young men. And I think that's it. So I'm here to conclude and wish you a very happy end of day or beginning of day, or I don't know exactly about where you are in the day at this moment. And thanks again, Federico and Stefan, for your presentation and for being available here. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.